台湾回归中国是战后国际秩序的重要组成部分。台湾属于中国的历史和法理。
The statement hit like a thunderclap. China absolutely will not rule out using force over Taiwan. Not whispered, not hinted, declared. In Beijing's grand political theater, that's the equivalent of dropping the mic and staring straight at Washington and Taipei, like, your move. For decades, China's stance on Taiwan has been a diplomatic dance, equal parts peaceful reunification and don't make us prove otherwise. This week, that dance turned into a full-blown march. Beijing's Taiwan Affairs Office made it crystal clear, yes, we want peace, but we're polishing the warheads just in case. State media had spent the week painting a rosy picture of benign reunification, promising Taiwan's way of life would be respected. But, let's remember, they promised the same thing to Hong Kong, and then rewrote the script halfway through the movie. On Wednesday morning, spokesperson Peng Ching-yen stood behind the podium in Beijing. Calm tone, polished words, dead serious meaning. We are willing to create ample space for peaceful reunification, and will spare no effort to pursue this prospect with the utmost sincerity. However, we absolutely will not renounce the use of force and reserve the option to take all necessary measures. Translation: we brought the olive branch, but it's duct taped to a missile. China's leadership loves its metaphors of harmony and family ties. In this case, it sounds less like let's reunite the family, and more like get in the van, we're family now. Here's the twist. This tough talk came just days after a series of state media commentaries that sounded almost gentle. How patriots could govern Taiwan post-reunification, and how Beijing would respect democracy. Even China's fourth-ranking official, Wan Huming, gave a speech that avoided mentioning force entirely. But now the mask is off. This is less sweet talk and more show of force. China's official line remains the one country, two systems model, the same formula used in Hong Kong and Macau. On paper, Taiwan keeps its way of life under Beijing's sovereignty. In practice, it's like saying, you can drive wherever you want, as long as we hold the steering wheel. And when they say we reserve the option to take all necessary measures, they mean it, and their military portfolio backs it up. The DF-21D, nicknamed the Carrier Killer, is a road-mobile medium-range ballistic missile with a range of about 2,000 kilometers. It carries a maneuverable warhead designed to strike large moving targets, like US aircraft carriers, and can reach speeds over Mach 10. It's not just a weapon, it's a message. Don't get too close. Then comes the DF-17, China's hypersonic glide vehicle missile, capable of speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 10. It can fly lower than traditional ballistic missiles, shift direction mid-flight, and hit targets thousands of kilometers away before radar can even blink. It's like trying to swat a fly that's already halfway across the room. And finally, the DF-26, nicknamed the Guam Killer. This intermediate-range missile can strike both land and sea targets up to 4,000 kilometers away, putting US bases in the Pacific squarely in range. It's dual-capable, meaning it can carry either a conventional or nuclear warhead. When Beijing says long arm, this is what they mean. Add to that a fleet of stealthy J-20 Mighty Dragon fighters, China's answer to the F-22, with advanced radar-absorbent coating and long-range missiles. Supporting them are Type 055 destroyers, each packing over 100 vertical launch cells for anti-ship, land attack, and air defense missiles. And above it all, the YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship missile, believed to fly at speeds near Mach 12. The arsenal is vast and built with one mission in mind: to make intervention in the Taiwan Strait as dangerous as possible. This escalation didn't happen in isolation. It landed right before a high-stakes meeting between US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Washington might be talking trade, but everyone knows Taiwan is the dragon in the room. Trump told reporters he didn't know whether Taiwan would even come up. That's like saying, We're going to talk about fire safety while standing in a burning building. Beijing timed this message perfectly to show the world it has options, or it will force them. Across the strait, Taiwan wasn't impressed. National Security Bureau Director General Tsai Ming-yen called Beijing's Patriot Rule plan a rerun of the Hong Kong disaster. He warned the goal was to Hong Kongify and Macaoify Taiwan, to replace sovereignty with staged loyalty. In Hong Kong, Beijing's first Patriots-only election in 2021 saw record low turnout. Meanwhile, Taiwan's democracy remains vibrant and loud, filled with protests, rallies, and heated debates. Beijing calls that chaos. The world calls it freedom. Let's get tactical. When China says it won't rule out force, that's not just political noise, it's military readiness. The People's Liberation Army Eastern Theater Command has drilled for years on every possible scenario. A blockade of Taiwan's ports and skies, rapid missile barrages on key bases, amphibious landings, and cyber warfare campaigns designed to cripple communications before the first missile even launches. The PLA Navy now boasts over 370 warships, the largest in the world by hull count. Their new Type 003 Fujian aircraft carrier features electromagnetic catapults, putting it in the same technological league as the US Navy's Gerald R. Ford. And in the air, fleets of H-6K bombers, capable of carrying cruise missiles, give Beijing long-range strike potential across the Pacific. If the Taiwan Strait ever ignites, it won't be a slow burn. It'll be lightning warfare on a 100-mile chessboard. Taiwan, though, is not defenseless. It fields Skybow air defense missiles, Harpoon anti-ship systems, and Haikun-class submarines under development, all designed to turn the island into a porcupine armed with spikes of steel. Every bay, every mountain, every tunnel, reinforced, camouflaged, and wired for defense. Globally, the ripples are already spreading. Japan, Australia, and the Philippines are on edge. US allies are reinforcing supply lines, fortifying bases, and preparing for a new Indo-Pacific flashpoint. Europe, meanwhile, is watching closely, because a conflict over Taiwan could shut down global trade faster than a blackout at the world's chip factories. For Washington, this is the nightmare scenario. A full-scale Taiwan crisis means global semiconductor collapse, economic shockwaves, and a direct military showdown with Beijing. It's the one war everyone practices for, but no one wants to fight. So here we are. Beijing says peace, but loads the gun. Taipei says sovereignty, and sharpens its shield. Washington says diplomacy, but keeps the fleet fueled and ready. It's a geopolitical game of chicken, and both drivers just ripped out the brakes. Will China's threat remain just words, or are we watching the opening moves of the biggest military gamble of the century? Tell us what you think. Is this bluff, brinkmanship, or the calm before a storm no one can stop? Because when the world's two largest militaries face off, there's no rehearsal, only consequences. Tell us what you think in the comments, and please like and subscribe, and be a part of history as this channel grows.